and today we're going to be making an ultimate cheesecake from home. This is my trusty assistant, MJ. And as most of you know, the first thing we do before we get started to bake is wash our hands. So come on everybody, let's wash our hands. We wet our hands, we get some soap. We sing our song. Top and bottom, in between, rub them all together, now we're clean, sweet, clean, and now we're time to bake. For today's cheesecake, we need these ingredients. We need 5 eggs, 2 8-ounce containers of regular cream cheese. Hi everybody, my name is Melissa, and today we're going to be making an ultimate cheesecake from home. This is my trusty. Now that you're done washing your hands and getting all your ingredients, it's time to start adding ingredients to the bowl. We're going to start by adding the cream cheese in first, one at a time. Dump it in, bud. If you see that it's getting stuck, you can use a spoon. Okay, get the next one ready, love. Get the next cream cheese. Okay, as you can see, we filled our bowl with all our cream cheese. Now, at any point during this presentation, if you need to hit pause, so you can do these steps, that's fine. Because as you noticed, I'm kind of doing the same thing just because I don't want you guys to be staring at me doing every step. So as I do this step, I pause it, and then you can do the same thing and catch up. So now it's time to add some sugar. We're going to take some sugar. We're going to be adding 1 1/4 cups of sugar. I use these, but you can use any kind of measuring cup as long as it's 1 1/4 equivalent to sugar. I like to use a spoon to help us take it out. So here, you hold the cup. Over here, let's fill up our cup with sugar. And my trusty assistant will dump it into the bowl once we're done filling. It's a lot of sugar to make it taste really good. Sugar is not the best for you, but guess what? When you're having a little dessert and a little treat, a little bit once in a while is not that bad. So we got 1 cup right there. Let's pour it in. Woo! All right. Now let's do our 1/4. It's okay. Little mess is never a problem. All right, let's dump it in. All right, good job. As you can see, this is getting kind of full in here, so we're gonna blend it up a little bit, little at a time, so that we keep it consistent and it doesn't get too messy for the rest of us. So I have a blender. If you need to use your own hand one, that's fine. But we're going to use this one just because the cream cheese is kind of hard and it helps us out a little bit. All right. Trusty assistant, do you want to help? You want to help do it? You do it. No? All right. We're keeping it on a low setting because we don't want to get too crazy. We don't want to get too crazy or have the sugar go all over the place. We're just going to blend it in together a little bit. Get it nice and smooth in there. Sorry if you see my little baby in the background. He's chilling on the floor while we bake. That's Mason, everybody. And this is MJ, trusty assistant MJ. All right, so as we do this, we're going to pause a little bit throughout doing it because we need to add eggs 1 by 1 while we do it. So we take an egg, 1 at a time. We crack it. 1 at a time, we crack it. Then we're going to mix it in 1 at a time, little by little by little. You're going to repeat this 5 times for all 5 eggs. Okay, so as you can see, we did add all 5 eggs and we mixed it in nicely. So now our next step is to add 2 teaspoons of vanilla. So trusty assistant, can you show them our teaspoon? Alrighty, you can smile, but it's okay. Alrighty, we're gonna do 2 of them. 1.
Can I try?
2.
Can I try?
Alrighty, now we're gonna do the lemon. We're gonna do 2 tablespoons of lemon, okay? Make sure you have a tablespoon. That's the big one. Okay, dump 1 in. Good. 1 more. Okay. All right, so now all our ingredients are in there for now. We're going to mix it up on a low cycle because we don't want everything to get all over the place. Mix it nice. Beautiful. All right, so our last ingredient is all-purpose flour. We need 2 tablespoons just to thicken it up. You're going to kind of make it a little bit flat. Dump it in. Flatten out a little bit. Dump it in. There's our 2 tablespoons of flour. So we're going to mix it in all together, and then our main part of the cheesecake will be complete. Again, nice and smooth. You want to keep it whipped and light. You don't want to go too hard because it's going to over whip the cream cheese. And then it won't be as light and fluffy inside the cheesecake. Light and smooth. Make sure there's no clumps and everything's out. Great job so far, everybody. So I'm a little lazy and I actually purchased some really cool cheesecake crust already made. It's a graham cracker crust. You can make the graham cracker crust yourself by using 1.5 cups of graham crackers, 1/4 cup of sugar, and 6 tablespoons of melted butter. I have included those ingredients also, but just to save time with my crazy young ones, as you can see, it's a lot of work. So I opted to make the easier one by buying the crust. It's about 99 cents in Stop and Shop or King Cullen, but again, it's up to you. Assistant MJ. And as most of you know, the first thing we do before we get starting to bake is wash our hands. So come on, everybody, let's wash our hands. We wet our hands. We get some soap.
I didn't get soap yet.
We sing our song. Top and bottom, in between, rub them all together, now we're clean, squeaky clean, and now we're time to bake. For today's cheesecake, we need these ingredients. We need 5 eggs, 2 8-ounce containers of regular cream cheese, 2 containers 8-ounce of whipped cream cheese, So now it's time to preheat the oven. We want to make sure it's set to 325. So my oven is now preheating. While we do that, we're going to fill the pie and get ready to go. All right, everybody, it's that time. We're gonna pour our filling into our cheesecake. And my helper is gonna help it along. That's good. All right. We want to make sure it's kind of filled to the top and not too filled. As you can see, we have extra batter. So what I like to do is make small, fun cakes to go with our big cake. Yay! So as you can see, we have some extra cups. So we're just going to nicely add some to our extra cups. And we're going to bring some to our elderly neighbors, because they don't get to share in our treat too. So we're doing a little community service, and we're making little ones so that they can keep it. We can leave it on their doorstep, and we won't even need to get too close, social distance, but we get to share in our treat with our lovely neighbors who really can't go outside too much. All right, so our oven just beeped. That means it's ready to go. So I'm going to place this gently in the oven. We're going to preset our timer to 55 minutes because that's how long we need to leave this baking for. Timer set. We want to check back every 10 minutes or so. Make sure nothing's leaking. As you noticed, I placed my tin on a tray because I want to make sure it's not going to over dip or, fall in the bottom of the oven and create a big mess. So again, 10 minutes, we'll come back and check it. If everything looks good, you're good to keep it there for 55 minutes. The timer went off. It's time to take out our cheesecake carefully.
Can I help?
My trusty assistant is going to carefully close the oven. We're going to let it sit for an additional 10 minutes just to let the cheesecake settle. You can see these, my mini ones, have already started to settle. It's okay that there's a little crack on the top. That just means it's settling. We're going to wait for the cheesecake itself to settle. And then for those of you who would like to add things on top of it, I've also included additional things in this PowerPoint that you could do to the top of the cheesecake.